What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rest Hold Podcast, episode 57, brought to you, as always, by your boy, Tanner Fred, and me, Zach Foreman. Tanner, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Wrestling taking a turn for the better. At least WWE product.
Yeah, we kind of predicted it. No, I guess not predicted.
We kind of said that it would get worse before it got better.
Yeah, and it did.
Briefly.
It did get worse.
Not for long, though.
But the turnaround time was greatly accelerated. And I think that's due to a certain CEO stepping down.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Don't know. I mean, make your own assumptions about who we could be talking about, but it could be anybody.
Yeah, maybe one Vincent, Kennedy, McMahon.
Potentially. But things are trending in a positive direction. Not just the H people coming back, but the stuff that you've been seeing weekly before this is now better.
They're letting the guys wrestle.
Yes.
So, I mean, you guys can correct us if we're wrong here, but let's start maybe before Money in the Bank, right? Before things really got out there that Vince was probably on his way out. Raw and SmackDown were 2/3 to 3/4 of promo and backstage vignette work.
Yes.
Like, just a ton of talking, a ton of story building, but never going anywhere.
Yes.
In a short 2 weeks of Triple H being in charge of creative, or however involved he is, whatever, these guys are going.
Yep. They're having legitimate matches.
They're cutting their promos. They're going to work.
Yep.
They're not taking 45 minutes to build the story. They're not showing the same clip a million times, which, thank gosh, they're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, for real.
Just can't take that.
Yeah.
But
also, I have noticed not a lot of 6-man tag matches recently.
No,
love those.
Not just getting people on TV to get on TV.
Yeah, meaningful matches.
Just before we really get into it, it's just funny you mentioned not a lot of 6-man tag matches. We're setting up for the worst 6-woman tag match. Not talent wise.
No, talent
wise it will be fine, but just what an awkward assembly.
The dynamic is very weird.
They just decided that we're gonna go the new group of Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai, who will be tag champions, by the way.
Yes. What's weird about that is that they'll probably have faced Asuka and Bliss in that tag tournament.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't think they're going to be tag champs, but I'll get to that afterwards, but go ahead.
Okay. Versus Asuka, Bliss, and Bianca Belair.
Yes.
So, tell me why Asuka or Bliss cares to work with Bianca.
No idea. So
this is the thing that WWE does frequently, and they've did it with Vince all the time. Why do these face okay, Asuka's a face, I guess, right? She's kind of just neutral.
She's a face, though.
Right. Why do they care to help Bianca? You're the champion, and this one always gets me. You're the champion, and maybe I respect you, but you have what I want.
Yeah.
Why am I coming to defend you?
Yeah. I don't know. It is weird. It is weird when they do stuff like this, especially because Bayley and them might have jumped Asuka and them once, but still
running through the division as the new group makes sense. I don't think it's enough to convince me that I care enough to go save Bianca at your expense.
100%.
I mean, you can give me the runaround well, they came for her, so whatever. But
who cares?
Exactly. Who cares?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
That's one of those, you cross that bridge when you get there, if you're me, but I don't know.
I think it would have made more sense to not announce this match
so early.
Have them Bayley screw them in the tournament, then you have a legitimate reason. Now there's an actual gripe.
Yeah.
And then, announce the match.
Yeah. And you got, 3 more weeks to get there?
Yeah, you have a ton of time.
3 more
you didn't have to announce this early. So, I don't know. I don't think the issue is the match. I think the issue is we jumped the gun.
Exactly.
We jumped the gun on
That's
it,
what I'm
for
saying.
sure.
Because if you would have made the story for me, it's I get it.
Yeah, and it's not that hard. It's right there.
You just did it.
You just needed 1 more week for it, and then we're fine. But
yeah, but that's really the only blemish of Raw.
Yeah, Raw and SmackDown have been good. NXT has been.
They're workshopping some things.
This past NXT, we're not going to talk about it too much this week, just because there's a lot going on in the main roster.
Yeah.
But definitely underwhelming for what I expect for a go-home show.
And they're doing and this is not to slight them, right? Because I don't mean it like this, but they're doing very women-heavy shows on NXT now. And your top talent isn't the women down
No,
there.
it's not.
Like, you have plenty of developing talent for women, and I know that you have to get them on TV, but the standard 2 or 3 matches that they have is fine. When you're pushing 4 or 5 with every
especially
intermittent
on
segment.
a take-home show.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the more the problem.
Yeah.
Is I understand, like, the women deserve their time, and they 100% do. A lot of them are very talented down there. But, like, you need also to get your champions on TV when they're, or your major matches for this upcoming pay-per-view on TV.
Who's Braun wrestling again?
McDonough,
Yeah.
they had a promo.
Yeah.
Get them on TV. Why were they not at NXT?
This is the kind of physical altercation you need.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like you said, we're not going to talk about that too much. At least we have NXT next week, so we'll see.
Yeah.
They will, I'm sure, put on a great show.
I guess we do quick predictions for that at the end of this.
Yeah, at the end we'll throw in predictions.
Yeah.
But we didn't even get to talk about it last week because, of course, it happened on Smackdown. The Triple H returns.
Mm-hmm.
The guys.
Yes.
In my opinion, I believe if you go check the archives of the podcast, this was the biggest cut for me.
Okay.
And I'm happy to see him back. Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross back with Scarlett.
With Scarlett.
As
with
he always
his
should have been.
NXT character back.
Yes.
As he should be. A believable, like, big guy, a Hitman-esque character.
Yeah.
Like, it's only a matter of time until I come for you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like what I'm reading about this feud, that Kross is being added, and somehow they're going to workshop that triple threat match to be only one of Roman's titles is on the line.
That will be interesting to see how they do that.
Which I can understand, right?
100%.
Watch the stipulation be, if I lose, you don't get both because you didn't pin me, and that makes perfect sense.
Or maybe that's the stipulation.
Right.
If you don't pin me, you don't get both.
And then there you go. So
Yeah.
Drew pins Kross or Kross pins Drew. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Crisis averted. They got themselves out of what is a bad situation.
Yes, especially because, again, kind of outside the ring,
Mm-hmm.
apparently USA is not very happy.
Right. And that's why
And
they need to work.
they wanted, I will give them a lot of props. USA didn't say take the belt off Roman.
No.
USA said, we need something. Give us an intern champion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the king of bad ideas.
That's the worst idea.
That's a horrible idea. I understand where they're coming from. It's like, hey, we don't want to ruin what you're doing with Roman.
Because it's working.
But we need something.
Yeah.
But that's not the answer. That's a very, very
Yeah.
bad answer.
Right.
But it seems like USA is definitely pushing for, hey, we need whether
belt
it's
back.
the belt back on Raw or we need Roman every week.
Yeah. And Roman's not
not
doing
doing
week. He's
every
not
week.
even doing every week on Fox.
Yeah, so he's definitely not doing every week on USA.
But if they do it that route that I kind of just explained, which makes perfect sense to me,
Yeah.
that will work.
Yeah.
And you got two guys
Has to be Drew.
with a feud I'd be very interested in watching.
I think it has to be Drew.
Yeah.
I think as good as Kross is, we did talk about this
Yeah.
a little bit yesterday.
He's not
at
Drew
length.
yet. And
Drew
he's not a champion
in
yet.
Wales,
Yeah.
beating Roman. Kross is damn good, and Kross will get there. But you got to remember, this is all the stuff we say about people coming up. As good as they were in NXT, most of the main roster audience doesn't watch NXT.
Yeah.
So as good as we say you are because we watch NXT, doesn't mean everyone's buying it yet.
And the fix to continue that feud, which I assume will be the first feud for Drew afterwards, is Drew versus Kross.
Probably.
Solo feud.
I would assume so.
Though,
But that means Drew's now going to Raw.
yeah.
And Kross is also going to Raw. Which
More people, again.
taking more and more from SmackDown.
Yeah.
Which, especially with the other return, which we'll talk about later, I don't know if it's a good idea to just keep pulling people off SmackDown.
Right.
Unless you have plans to start
Unless you're
bringing people up from SmackDown, from NXT or back to SmackDown permanently.
unless the brand split's dead. And, like, you have Roman there, but...
I
like,
don't know if you really can have a dead brand split because it's separate networks. That's why it's so hard. I mean, yeah, you can, but like...
Yeah. But anyway, like I was saying really quick, is the way that you keep that feud going. Because you don't want to pin Kross clean, right? I mean, he has to take the pin. He has to take the pin.
Yeah.
Just have Roman, like, spear him and get thrown out of the ring by Drew. Or have, like...
I get what you're saying, too. I really don't think there's anything clean of a triple threat anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you beat me. It's like I got beat the crap out of
Or
like two.
have Kross fighting Roman, gets Claymored, and then...
The Usos come in or beating the crap out of
Something.
Kross. They get claimed. Whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. Just something, because you got to keep the feud alive.
The only thing that's kind of unfortunate about what's going to happen here is that we're going to have, or I guess it depends how you look at it, is we're probably going to have Roman Drew at Survivor Series. Because that's going to be in 2 months right after Clash at the Castle. So I feel like that's a quick turnaround.
But this is a problem.
Unless Triple H realizes how
Series.
bad Survivor Series has been and doesn't just make it. Yeah. I mean, when he was in charge, and I guess you could say he really was in charge, but the Authority stuff
was great.
Was fantastic.
Yeah.
And like the Survivor Series stuff they did for that was one of the best Survivor Series matches of all time.
It's definitely the best. There hasn't been a better
definitely
one
recent
since.
for sure. Yeah. Definitely like
since.
Best modern one in a while.
That's almost a decade ago, right?
Yeah, so
that's like 7 years ago.
I think it's like 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It was right after.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good.
Insane.
Yeah.
But that's a problem you'd run into with anyone if you split the belts because you're going to see the match twice.
Yeah.
But you have to do it.
Yeah, you do.
And that's like you
the
said,
only
that's a bridge you cross when you
option,
get there, you have to
which isn't a good one, you still have Theory. Theory is still available with the briefcase. And he's going to win the belt eventually.
He might.
He will.
He might.
He will win. Triple H knew what he had with him in NXT. As much as you can say he was a Vince guy, Triple H knew what he had.
They need to make his character better, which they will.
I think, has he been on TV in a little bit? Since
last week.
I know last week he had some like personal stuff that we missed. If they just keep him off for a little bit and let him come back different, fine.
Just as Money in the Bank holder Austin Theory.
And then just let him still be like a Weasley heel, but not as like daddy's boy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, get your Roman as daddy shirts now at WWE
What
Shop.com.
is that?
They just love merch. Anything.
They'll pump anything, and if that moves, I mean, it's gonna move.
Yeah.
But
yes. Next event we're going through, we're seeing so many Roman as daddy shirts.
If I see one, I can't. Whatever. Jeez. Unreal.
Hey,
it's an aggressive merch.
It is an aggressive merch buy, but people will buy it.
Yeah.
People will buy it. Anyway.
Smackdown.
Shinsuke and Gunther next week, this Friday. Or I guess this week now, but for the Intercontinental Championship.
Shinsuke's chest is going to cave in.
Oh, yeah.
That's just what's going to happen.
I definitely think Shinsuke loses because I think we get Gunther on the Clash at the Castle card.
I think we need to start building to Gunther and Sheamus. Since Drew didn't happen, since Drew is preoccupied with the main title.
Possibly.
I think we need to see Sheamus.
That would be awesome.
Those two guys, you think Drew and Sheamus are physical? These two guys would be physical.
I'm not sure how you get there.
Easy.
He just comes out.
You just do it.
Okay.
This is one of those titles, like, I want to be on the card in overseas in the UK. Like,
all right, fair enough.
This works. Like,
the only other option I could see would be if it's Kaiser, but I think that's too soon.
I honestly, like, Ludwig,
Marcel Bartel.
Yeah, Marcel Bartel. But, like, he's very, very good.
Very good.
I don't know if he's going to be good on his own. He was always good because of Imperium. And this is not me saying he can't, because he'll out-wrestle a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm saying the character worked because he was Imperium. Now it works because he's the voice, the mouthpiece for Walter or Gunther. I don't know what he does alone, and maybe that's just because he hasn't done it.
It's tough, too, because now, what's his name? Giovanni Vinci
Eichner,
now, but Eichner is such a different character too.
Yeah.
That it's a shame that we'll probably never see Imperium on the main roster because they were such a good group.
And you're telling me you couldn't get Imperium versus the Bloodline going?
Imperium versus the Bloodline, that would be sick. Yeah. But probably not doing that now.
Doesn't look likely.
No, I mean Triple H, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
He could change everything in a snap of his fingers, but
it's true.
We'll see what happens with that. But
what opened SmackDown this week?
I don't know.
It was good. I'm drawing a blank on what opened it, but it was good.
Look, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Was it the women? Was it Liv?
No, it wasn't, because that was the second thing that went on for almost a full hour, and I just didn't care for the
what is the date
gauntlet.
Like August 5th?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the right person probably won the gauntlet, to be honest.
Yes.
Made Raquel look really good.
Yeah. She still didn't have to. That was it. Yes, Ricochet and Corbin.
Yeah.
That was a good match.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fun Ricochet, match. These are two guys that are very, very good.
Yeah. Ricochet's good, and Corbin is incredibly underappreciated.
Yeah.
But that was a great start to the to SmackDown, and then of course it just tapered off a little bit, and then ended strong again.
But that's going to be the problem with Ricochet is he deserves a spot in the ring. It's just when you put the mic in his hand, it definitely he isn't as good as he is in the ring.
They gotta get him in promo class. Like I just don't know how he still hasn't.
Get him a manager. Get him something.
He's not the kind of character that would work well with that though, because when you're like a bad speaker, having a manager works when you're like giant and you're a big guy, or you're like. And like Ricochet's whole character is like the happy-go-lucky, like always positive, I could win kind of guy. And I know you could change that, right? I know you can just rework the character. He's still 5'8", like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I guess maybe like you could do something where like that is the bit that he is so damn good, but he knows he's still not getting his opportunities.
So everybody's been overlooking him, so I'm here to talk for him. Yeah, it could work, but who?
It could have been LA Knight.
What is he doing now?
The Maximum Male Models, which is one of the worst gimmicks I've ever seen.
I gotta think Triple H ends that quickly, right?
The thing is, it does really well for what's her name? Whoever the girl is now, Maxine, whatever.
Maxine Dupree.
Yeah, but like, I care so much more or less about Mansoor now. Mace is in it.
Mace is having a really tough go at things. He has been dealt probably the worst hand
I think I've ever seen.
Ever.
Yeah, it's up there.
Ever.
One of the worst hands I've ever seen.
He has no chance to get over at all with any gimmick.
With nothing. He's getting screwed.
He's big, he's athletic, he wrestles well enough, and he just... Nothing.
But yeah, and then the Gauntlet, which was good.
It's fine.
Raquel is...
It's very long.
One of my favorite women wrestlers right now.
Yeah.
Love Raquel. Think she's very good.
It
is long. It's a lot.
I'm glad she didn't win. Liv beating Shayna would be a big statement victory again. So you beat Ronda, then you beat Shayna. So you're going through some pretty intimidating women. Then there's no shame in losing to Raquel.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
And I think that they got to move towards something like that. Again, it's been quick. It's been a short run, only a month and a half, right, of Liv?
At this point, yeah.
And she's done zero memorable things.
It's true.
I don't know whose fault that is, but her only title defense was her getting beat up the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not great.
Doomsday arrives.
And then Doomsday arrives. Yeah. Kross back, like we said.
It's great.
Yeah, it's good.
It's great.
It's perfect. It's exactly what we were looking for. It definitely adds to SmackDown. But again, like we said, do they keep him on SmackDown will be the issue.
Yeah, who knows if he's coming for Roman instead of Drew, like he just was fighting Drew.
Drew's in the way.
Yeah, and then there you go. That story works
Possible. But So then you're saying if Drew wins,
then he just
do Kross and Roman.
Yeah, feud next.
Tough sell, I think. If you lose,
tougher than feuding with Drew. Because he's got to lose. He
has to lose. That is the thing. He has. If he's in the match, he has to lose.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you sell it. I guess it's easier to sell him with Roman if he gets pinned by Drew, right?
No, other way.
You think it's easier to sell him and Drew
if he gets pinned by Drew?
How? My thing is Roman didn't beat me. Drew did.
Right. I guess you could do that. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know how you get there. Yeah. That's something for them to figure out, not me.
That's why they get paid the big bucks.
Yeah. So SmackDown's good.
Yeah. Then we get Raw.
Yeah.
We get Raw.
Raw was good as well.
Another return.
Yes. Kind of. This one was interesting. This one wasn't as...
This one, if you were not a fan of NXT, you might have literally thought somebody was running up.
If you didn't know the character of Loomis, this was probably very bizarre for you. But I like how they did it.
That's how you got to introduce somebody like him.
Yeah. It wasn't just he's here. It's a lot going on throughout the show.
Yeah.
I saw one theory, which I think would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen, but I think it would be interesting. So he crashed the car into... What was it? Whose car was it?
I forget.
It was one of the women's tag teams that's supposed to fight next week.
Because they were all standing out there.
I think it was not Dana and Tamina, but the other one, whoever it's supposed to be. So I saw that for whatever reason now they can't compete next week.
Mm-hmm.
Indy and Candice fill in.
Next week's the Cleveland show? No, this week was Cleveland.
This week was Cleveland, but
yeah.
Again, I don't think it's gonna happen. No. I just thought that would be cool.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Indy has been off NXT for a while. Candace probably is not ready to be back.
Definitely not ready to be back at all. But would be cool.
And if I was a betting man, they're not debuting
Them
Candace
before Johnny.
You're
100%. I just thought it was cool. Yeah, no, it definitely isn't happening. Definitely like a fantasy booking type thing. But I thought it would have been cool.
It would be cool to see just if it could happen. Somehow Johnny gets back and the way is back, and like
that's kind of what
then you kind of
recoup. Was more that the way is back.
You recoup Theory easily, like the character changes back.
Bring him right back into.
This is what you were doing while I was gone, taking selfies.
Yeah,
like, and there you go.
Have Johnny scold him, and then
comedy
there it is.
Gimmick, done. And it's fine.
And we're back, and we're back on track.
Yeah.
But what I was saying before, briefly about the women's titles is, I don't think the tournament's ending, because I think it's gonna end. And do you remember when CM Punk beat Cena and jumps out in Chicago?
Yeah.
Then, like, 2 months later, they had the tournament. Cena beats Ray. And then as soon as he wins the thing, CM Punk comes back. I think that has Sasha and Naomi written all over it.
1,000%, especially considering that they said, yeah, they worked something out. They'll be back.
Especially just how convenient it is that now
they care about the women's
we care about the women's tag titles.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening, 100%.
And all is forgiven, all is well. Sasha and Naomi are back, and everyone's just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, as more details came out, it seemed like
Team Sasha and
it seemed
Naomi,
like they weren't the bad guys in the situation.
No, we even did that. We walked it back as soon as
we found out more about it. Yeah. So, that's what it looks like the direction we're headed with this. The only thing that's going to be weird is it's going to be either Asuka and Bliss or the Bayley team.
Yeah. The Bayley team makes a lot of sense.
Yes, storyline wise, but on paper, logistically, it's going to be weird because now we're going to have two separate feuds at the same time.
I mean, are you?
Unless that's how they lose at Clash.
Maybe.
Is because of Sasha and Naomi. My point is the team title tournament's ending not next week, but the following Monday. So there's either going to be like a gap of time where they're the tag team champions and then Sasha and Naomi come back. Or if it's right away, we're now having Io and Dakota feud with Sasha and Naomi while the Bayley group, which needs to be named immediately because I'm tired of saying the Bayley group, feud with Bianca and Bliss and Asuka.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying now. I literally was not remembering that it was ending before
Clash. Yeah.
That one is something I cannot off cuff get out
That's
of
the
right
problem.
Now. I'm trying to think of a way out of that.
You know what's funny, too? The other answer was, you know what? I do have an answer for this, actually, off the cuff. You have, after Io and Dakota win, they jump Asuka and Bliss or whatever to the point where one of them can't compete.
Or both.
But one's probably more likely, and you just plug in Sasha and Naomi.
So you pull both and plug
Pull both and just plug them.
Bliss needs to do something.
She needs to do something. I agree. I 100% agree. But I don't think this is even... I think this is the same as nothing.
This is the equivalent of nothing.
So, her missing this pay-per-view, I don't think is the worst thing in the world.
No, but they got to figure something out for her.
100%.
Put her with Lewis.
Well, when Windham comes back.
Yeah, or if Bray coming back...
Changes everything.
That changes
everything. Literally everything.
Yeah.
Also, because I think a Kross Fiend feud would be so cool.
Oh, man.
Would be so cool.
We still got robbed of the Demon and the Fiend, too.
And that's still very plausible now, if Bray could come back. Because that's something that has to happen.
Okay. So, let me just,
backtrack.
off the weekly episodic recaps.
Sure.
Something I mentioned briefly before the pod started, before we started recording. Does WWE start to run into the AEW problem? So the shows have been better. We'll definitely say that. And for all the reasons we said earlier, like the wrestling is better, less promos, less repetitive things. But each show is kind of ending or towards the end having a return now. We're getting big cliffhangers and news of return here, return there. Does WWE get these bump in viewers and the hype around the shows because they're like, okay, who's coming tonight until it runs out?
Here's why I'm going to say no, for two reasons, actually. One, it's not just that, okay, here's a return, and the rest of the product is staying the same.
Yeah.
The rest of the product is improving drastically.
I agree.
Throughout the entire company, so both shows. Secondly, these are unannounced returns. It's not like, huge announcement or huge return or new superstar. It's Kross came out of the woodwork.
Yep.
Loomis came out of the woodwork.
One of the quietest re-signings maybe ever.
It's like Dakota.
That Kross just did it.
Didn't hear a word about it, and it just happens. It's not like they're saying, new superstar coming back. It's not like that. So it's not like people are tuning in to see that.
Yeah.
They might click it on when they hear that it's currently happening.
Right.
But it's not like, okay, we're getting viewership because someone's coming back tonight and everyone knows it.
Right.
That's why I don't think they'll run into that problem.
You're probably right, but every wrestling news outlet you look at, Triple H wants to bring Braun Strowman back. Triple H wants to bring Bray Wyatt back. The whole locker room wants to bring Bray Wyatt back.
I know what you're saying, but at the same time, too, is how many people... The people that follow those dirt sheets and
are watching it.
Are already watching.
Yeah.
Their casual fan most likely isn't tuning in every week now in case Bray comes back, in case Braun comes back.
And they're not even, like you said, they're not publicized.
No.
So like where AEW every week is massive, groundbreaking, earth-shattering, changing the landscape of wrestling.
Exactly.
WWE's just watch Raw.
Doing their show.
Watch Raw, watch
Raw.
Smackdown.
Something might happen.
Yeah.
But that's kind of been their bit for 35 years. Something might happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they don't do the title change often.
But it happens. But it can happen.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because it can happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of title changes, that didn't happen. Bob and Ciampa.
Title change that could have happened.
Yeah. This was a hell of a match.
I think they did right by getting Ciampa out there alone. 100%. Get Miz out of there.
Yeah.
Let Ciampa go. Let people see who he is as a wrestler. Let him be a legitimate opponent to Bobby Lashley.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dude, the guy's
Ciampa's good. It's really good.
We knew how good he was, right? We watch NXT.
Now people are starting to figure it out.
Now people will start to appreciate it. To go against Bob like that, and you are the clear smaller man, but to go against Bob like that, it's good.
Shout out Bob. That's a legitimate victory.
Yeah, that's good for him.
And talk about making Bob look strong. Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Like Bob's dominant force now.
Again. Bob is back.
Bob
the Almighty.
Is so back. Bob the Almighty's back. Yeah.
And couldn't be happier for him.
100%.
The only way I'd been happier is if you beat Roman.
You're at that already?
No, that's the only way I would have been happier for Bob.
I see. Okay.
Like, this is great for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like we said, the top of the card is cluttered.
Very cluttered.
Adding Kross is only making it more cluttered. Seth is not going away.
That was a weird one for me.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they did that.
Didn't mention Roman again.
Why? I guess just to keep it in people's minds would be the only thing I could think. Because it is super cluttered. Because, like we said, we have to go off the assumption that Survivor Series is staying the same.
Yeah.
We have no indication otherwise as of right now. So we have Drew. Mm-hmm. Then we have, I guess, a blank spot. And then we have Survivor Series.
Right.
I highly doubt Seth's filling in that blank spot.
He's not just going to wrestle at Extreme Rules. They're
Probably
just not doing it.
That's going to be a major pay-per-view of some kind.
Yeah.
Probably the Rumble, if anything.
I would be more inclined to think they're dropping this every now and then just in case The Rock isn't ready to go.
Very possible.
Like,
but it seems like he's leaning towards ready to go.
Yeah.
But that's also a huge possibility. If it's not WrestleMania, it has to be TLC or the Rumble.
I feel incredibly bad for Seth.
Because he's not winning.
He's not winning, and two, he is just in limbo. He is just in limbo right now. He is the best in-ring performer on the roster.
Yeah.
He's a top 3 superstar all the time.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had a main title in 5 years.
5 years.
Probably closer to 6 now because that's an old stat.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
What, since he lost the Universal title, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't touched it? Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. And I understand, like, the problem is, like, unifying the belts was a big mistake.
Right. And Roman is nuclear hot. He's still doing the best work.
Yeah.
Like, coming out and burying Lesnar after you beat Lesnar, that's great work.
Exactly.
So what do? You don't just take the belt off.
You can't just take the belt off. You can't. You cannot do it.
And you can't just squeeze him into Kross, Drew, and...
definitely not.
So
he is just kind of in the middle of nothing.
He's in limbo.
But that's the problem with one main title is
you only have
you're going to have...
guy.
Think about people also like Kevin Owens, who, say what you will, but deserve a major title.
Another guy. Like, he's not in limbo. He's just not even sniffing.
Yeah, he's not even close to the main feuds. And I know he had like his little thing with Roman for a bit, and that was early on in Roman's run. But like that was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, well,
it's a long time.
You can really run down the roster and say that about a lot of guys. And we kind of did this yesterday off the pod. We did like a list of like our top. Because I said Kross coming back makes him a top 15 wrestler.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It does not.
It doesn't.
It's not.
And that's not to slight Kross.
Kross is damn good.
The roster is incredibly stacked right now with talented
really,
wrestlers.
really good.
So Kross is probably top 20, 25.
Yeah.
But with that being said, there's guys. AJ Styles not sniffing the title. Randy not sniffing the title. Finn not sniffing the title. Edge not sniffing the title.
Cody will be back sooner rather than later.
And guess who's going to be sniffing the title?
100 right away. Right away.
So that's more guys that Seth isn't going to leapfrog.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So they need to split the belts as soon as possible, and they need to start workshopping these top guys in. And goes to kind of what they're like building the new talent. Riddle's not sniffing that title.
For a while
and
now.
That was the guy.
Yeah.
Theory is Money in the Bank, and if he doesn't win by cashing in, there's no story for him.
No, absolutely not.
So what's going on?
Yeah, the belts have to be split.
Yeah.
That was the thing, too. Money in the Bank causes such a big problem, but also gives you such an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's where I think giving it to Theory was the problem.
Yeah.
Is Theory will be ready to be a world champion, I believe, within the next year and a half.
And this goes to it's a Vince guy.
It's a Vince guy.
And that was dead. That reeks of being a Vince decision.
And now they're kind of dead in the water with this because he's not ready right now.
And you don't just strip.
It's not even that he's not ready to be champion, because in another time he might be.
Yeah.
He's not ready to beat Roman. That's the real problem. It's not about being champion. It's about beating Roman.
Right. People in that match that could have beat Roman, Seth Rollins.
It's probably it.
One of one.
Probably it.
Like, and it just is the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. It's
just how it is.
Yeah, because Drew is not pinning Roman.
Shot.
I can promise you that will not be the finish. If this becomes a triple threat,
the only person I believe on the roster right now that has a chance of pinning Roman is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
he's the only one.
Yeah, because it's going to matter, and it's going to make your next champion the biggest champion,
maybe ever.
Yeah.
It might be the biggest title change of all time. It legitimately might be.
And I know kind of some of our episodes derail into like the whole Roman is the greatest of all time, like singing Roman's praise. But they're still running with that stat if he hasn't been pinned in a singles match. This is like a 700 days of not being pinned.
This might be the greatest run of all time.
Yeah.
It's getting harder. This is like the Usos being greatest tag teams of all time.
Very hard.
It's getting harder and harder to argue with every single pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like seriously, go look at Roman's run. Show me one bad match.
Yes.
Show me a single bad match.
Yes. And you can, the worst match that I'm thinking of is WrestleMania where he got hurt with Brock.
Yeah.
Because it was slow and then they rushed the finish.
Yeah.
And he was hurt. Mm-hmm. And people still liked the match.
Yeah. Even the early ones where he's fighting the Usos were fantastic. Yeah. Owens was fantastic. Cesaro was great.
Jay.
Yeah. Like, there haven't been any bad matches in this entire run.
And people aren't even talking about the pin statistic because they're just talking about
the title run.
Yeah,
he hasn't been pinned since he came back.
Champions lose all the time in WWE. Do they always lose the title? No, but they'll lose the match leading up to the title all the time.
Yeah.
Roman has not done that.
No. I think his only loss
is choking out
Seth.
Seth.
Only loss that can be attributed to him. Yeah. So I'm sure they've lost like 6-man tags and all that jazz. Is the one where he choked out Seth.
Yeah.
That's the only loss that you can attribute to him.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
A DQ.
Yeah, a DQ, which is crazy.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. But anyway, before we just go off about Roman all day, what else we got on Raw?
Oh, we had the no DQ with Miz and AJ.
Yes, AJ.
Yes. This is progressing like fast, this feud. But, I mean, I like it. I think this is a very good match as well.
The thing is, you're probably going to get that match on, what's it called?
I don't know. What's it called?
Clash. They'll
probably
get those guys out on Clash.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why they have to move it along. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind it.
No, not at all. It just, I feel like they rushed it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you could have saved this for the Clash. But
yeah. But I don't know.
I get why they didn't.
Probably worked back in Ciampa.
Yeah.
maybe.
Ciampa and AJ would be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be a sick match.
I'll be fine with that being a clash.
100%. And then I guess like our last thing on.
I mean, we had
Raw.
Seth beat
Dawkins. Dawkins looks good, man.
The split is now imminent.
100%.
They're letting Dawkins wrestle himself.
He looks good.
To have
physically, he looks good.
To have both of them
shape,
get a trial match against Seth Rollins, and I wouldn't say trial necessarily for Montez because they've seen him wrestle.
But it still was a trial match because keep in mind he's now wrestled singles matches against Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And both were really good.
Yeah. So. And Dawkins I'm not saying Dawkins is as good as Montez, but Dawkins is no slouch.
No, not at all.
The guy is good.
He is very good. I hope he doesn't get lost in the limbo.
No, because I've been singing his praise as a tag team wrestler.
If he didn't do the spinning elbow, I'd like him so much.
Yeah, his spinning elbow is just
horrible.
Not the spinning elbow. The spinning
clothesline, the corner thing, whatever it is.
That's the worst move.
It's miserable.
But that's just his fault. I mean, that's just one bad move. Yeah. But
and then the only thing that I would say was real negative on Raw, while the segment was good, Finn and Ray, this has to stop. This feud has to end. Like, I'm over it. I'm over Judgment Day and the Mysterios. I'm over it.
This is another one of the classic WWE things where they just run it until it's dead, and then they beat the dead horse, and then they try to revive it. And then they successfully revive it once, and then they kill it again.
Oh, my God.
They just cannot help themselves. If you've been listening to the pod, if you're a friend of the pod, you know I just don't care about the Mysterios.
No, I'm just over them. I'm over them.
My fandom of Ray stops in 2007.
Yeah.
Like, obviously that's hyperbole, but like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Dominic's not good.
Care. It's very hard to
Dominic's not good. No. This feud means nothing to anyone.
No.
This is all about getting to Finn Balor versus Edge.
100%.
And Finn's going to lose.
Yeah, he's going to lose.
Like, so what
do I care for? Yeah.
Because this is what they do. They just put Edge over.
Yeah.
They just put Edge over. He doesn't need to be over.
No.
He's over enough. He's Edge.
He's Edge. He's like, Edge. Everyone knows he's Edge.
And if he loses to Finn at Clash, good.
Yeah, good. Make the Judgment Day even stronger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep them going. Let them feud with somebody else. Yeah. Like, move them along. Because if they lose to Edge right away.
And guess what happens? Ready? Guess what happens when Edge loses to Finn? Mm-hmm. Nothing. Edge goes and does whatever he wants again. He's Edge. And then we get Edge and AJ, or whatever else we feel like. Well, we just had that, but whatever else we want.
Exactly.
So. Also, this little stat from Bleacher Report is kind of wild. Mm-hmm. So it's Edge had his first match a few years before Dominic was born. That is insanity. Mm-hmm. It's a long time. Mm-hmm. It's a long time.
It makes me feel old.
It makes you feel old really fast. It makes you feel old really fast.
I guess I should stop being so hard on Dominic then?
No.
Psych.
No.
He's terrible.
No. He's not. Not terrible.
So, PG era is definitely dead, though, huh?
Yeah.
With Rhea Ripley posting the Dominic's out here living a lot of your guys' dreams when he's getting choked out between the leg scissors, the head scissors.
Is definitely.
PG era is done.
He's gone. Okay, so what's the new NXT the pay-per-view coming out? What's it called?
Well, it's Energy Solutions. It's
no, I don't think it's Energy.
Isn't it Heatwave?
Heatwave. That's what it is.
Energy Solutions is just whatever that popped up on.
I guess that's like what comes up first for NXT. Yeah. NXT Energy Solutions.
All right, let's get the card up. Let's give some predictions.
Pulling that up. I don't want not Panini cards.
Yeah, Paninis. All right, I'm gonna go Braun.
All right, hold on. Why is there only 2 matches? Can I have more, please? Wrestling, please. Can I have more?
No, click that first one.
The first one?
No, down. Which down, one? Down. This is great podcasting, by the way. Yeah,
this one?
That one.
Okay.
There we go.
There it is.
Five matches. That's right for a 2-hour show.
Probably. All right.
And
first
a Harley Quinn ad.
Harley Quinn. Core Jade, Roxanne Perez.
Jade.
Really?
Yeah, they're getting really behind Core Jade right now. The generation of Jade or whatever they're calling it.
They are calling it that.
Yeah,
I like that. I'll go with Jade. Tony D. Mm-hmm. Made official this Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Tony D. Santos Escobar. If Santos wins, Legado is free from the family. If he loses, Santos is gone from NXT.
I think we know how this one goes. My boy is due for the main roster.
I think he's gone, man.
Santos, he's been getting in shape. He's posting the shirtless gym selfies. Yeah. That screams main roster.
It does.
Screams it. So, I'm going Tony D here.
I think Tony D as well.
Yeah.
Here's the real question, though. On the way out, Does Legado turn on Santos?
So, while I think that would be awesome,
Yeah.
and I know the stip is he's banned from NXT 2.0, but if they turn on him, you'd want him to get revenge. And I know that he's banned, but you would want that story to keep going.
I agree.
So I think, and it might suck, but I think he just loses.
I think he just loses as well. I really hope. I don't know. I don't know what I want.
You can write it off that the stipulation is you're banned. You
Yeah.
can't come back.
Yeah.
So they screwed you, so what? And that's fine. You can do that. I just know as a fan, I would be like, no, this isn't right. Like Santos
I think it
needs
also is then harder to pull them all up later
together. Right. You cannot have them all together.
That's
again.
the issue here.
Yeah.
Is
What's the play?
what's the play? Or do we just want Santos or do we want Legado on the main roster?
Because if it's all of them,
He got to win.
no.
He has to win.
Yeah, he has to win, and then they're gone. He said, we're free from NXT, but we're leaving anyway. Whatever.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe we're just off base again, and Santos isn't going up. And that's
We've
it.
been off so many times.
This is like the third pay-per-view in a row for him where I'm like, this is
This
it.
is it. This is the one.
So.
All right, so we got Cora and we got Tony D.
Yep.
North American Championship, Carmelo Hayes and Giovanni Vinci.
Man, I'm going Carmelo.
I am also going Carmelo. I think
it'll be one
this
heck
is gonna
of
be
a match.
this is gonna be match of the night.
Yeah, this is gonna be a banger and a half.
For sure, match of the night.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. But I'm still thinking they're riding out with Carmelo unless he's up. Let's just say it for everyone, but unless he's up.
Which could be because they did have that meeting of the champions all with the main roster, right?
Did I think so?
That was something that came out in the dirt sheets. That
So.
Carmelo, Braun, they were all with the main roster. So
Yeah, but that could also just be seen when they're ready.
Yeah.
So, but I think Melo wins this. Mandy Rose, Zoe Stark, NXT Women's Championship.
Toxic Attraction is dead. Their run in NXT is done.
Okay.
They're getting pulled up.
Okay.
Zoe Stark's winning.
I could not disagree with you more.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy Rose retains.
Mm-hmm.
Toxic Attraction is dead.
Mm-hmm.
But they are not getting pulled up
Mm-hmm.
because you can't pull up another 3-woman faction that is identical to Bayley.
Yeah.
Can't do it right now.
I hear you. But
Not yet, anyway.
is out of sight, out of mind so bad? Just a little time off? They have been on a long, successful
I think
run.
it is bad
Yeah.
for the women's division as a whole because they have been even like the things that don't have to do with them still kind of have to do with them. Like they've been such a main focus of the women's division for so long.
It's true.
I don't know if you want to just open up a gap like that
yeah.
right away, and then not have a reason for it.
They tend to give breaks after long runs like this.
No, they do. But I just don't think Mandy's done. I don't think Zoe Stark is the answer. Is my real thing
No, I don't either.
because I think Cora is.
And if you change it too soon, then Zoe versus Cora, if that happens right away, which would likely happen right away. Yeah, I guess following that logic, you're probably right that Mandy will win, and then it'll be the next one, and it'll probably be a real pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Not like this is not. I mean, but it'll be a takeover.
Takeover.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Mandy.
Yeah. Okay. I changed my mind, Mandy, but Toxic Attraction is still dead.
Yes, I agree. I think this is the end for Toxic. Braun Breaker, JD McDonough, the athlete formerly known as Jordan Devlin.
I'm guessing that's the JD.
That is the JD. That's a good, I mean, for
that's
as
not
far
a
as
bad
the
way.
name
That's not a
changes
bad way
go,
to do it,
that one's
yeah.
pretty good.
It's Braun Breaker.
I think Braun as well.
It's Braun.
This is going to be, I think, a match that potentially exposes how much better Melo is than Braun Breaker.
Yep. This could be third match in a row where Braun doesn't deliver as a champion. And that's, I mean, the first, whatever, with, what's his face, Gacy.
Joe Gacy.
I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. The story was bad. You got to cut better promos than that, but the story was bad. This one, promos are all fine. Like, you want to fight. You guys are just two guys that want to fight.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. But got to perform.
Got to perform on this one.
I don't know if
this
he
is a
can
big
hang.
test one.
I don't know if he can hang.
Got to perform here.
Hanging with the big boys is easy.
Yeah.
Hanging with the small, fast guys, not as easy sometimes.
Not as easy.
And he's good.
Yeah.
McDonough.
He's very good.
He's good.
He's real good. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
But I think that wraps it up for us today.
That's it. Ran touch long.
A little
45
bit.
minutes.
A little bit. But
we
a
got
lot
the
going
predictions
on.
in.
A lot
Got the
going on. Yeah, the
predictions in.
predictions got in. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe down below.
Yep.
Let us know what you think of the potential WWE new AEW problem of just returns and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Your predictions for NXT Heatwave 2022.
Mm-hmm. And who returns next?
Who returns next?
More people
Because people will be back.
More people are coming.
So who's next? Who do you think is next?
Mm-hmm.
Follow us on the socials, Instagram and Twitter at @wrestle_pod.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. All the links are down in the description.
Yep.
So check it out there.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, fellas and
Peace.
ladies. Peace.